you get tired with a truck at 600 or 700 horsepower, whatever it makes, we'll see, and you want more. That's more than our semi makes. That's to the tire. We don't want to blow the poor thing up. Time for an engine swap. Enough talking. I'm Will from Power Driven Diesel, one of the owners here. This is my baby. This is my 1998 12 valve Cummins. It's a quad cab, long bed. I bought this truck 10 plus years ago. I've put 100,000 miles on this truck. Well, maybe even like 150, I don't know. All I know is it has 350,000 on the clock. It has been a riot. It's been fun. I've learned a ton with it. We are going to put this on the dyno, see how much power it makes, give you guys kind of a full rundown of all the parts in it, and then we're going to turn up the power, obviously, because you know, you get tired with a truck at 600 or 700 horsepower, whatever it makes, we'll see, and you want more. We'll give you a little tour under the hood. This has our power-driven towing compounds on it, which is a K27 and a 369 SXE turbo. During the R&D process, we're like, hey, will we make more power with a bigger turbo on here? So this actually got modified from that, and now it has a 472, so a 72 millimeter large frame Borg Warner turbo on there, and it didn't really add any power. That's why we don't offer that in a kit. It's a little tighter fitting. The bends aren't as well because it's such a big turbo, but that's what this has, a 472 and a K27. This is the original engine. It has head studs, and the block is fire-ringed. O-ringed. I O-ring the block in frame with an Isky Groove-O-Matic. Terrible way to do it, but that's all I could do in my garage back in the day. So this is a stock head, stock bottom end, nothing's been done to that, original 350,000 miles. It has a hot rod 215 pump. It makes about 630 cc, so this is nearly a max effort 215 pump. It has some small 5x13 wide spray pattern injectors in it right now. Oh wait, I don't know what injectors are in it right now. We could have changed them. They're not big. They're kind of like towing to street performance size, maybe a 5x14. I don't really know what injectors are in here anymore. It's changed. It's probably had 20 different sets of injectors in it. Other than that, the engine's there. It has a well-built power-driven transmission that'll hold all the power, so we're not losing any power there. The truck has so much blow-by. You can see we've added a dual valve cover breather here. We added a valve cover breather with a draft hose. This is where I fill my oil. You want to see some redneck engineering here. You see that? We pulled the oil fill cap off, put this Mr. Gasket breather on there because we had oil leaks, and if you get more ventilation, your oil leaks go down. And then it still has the factory tappet cover. So this thing has 3 breathers, and it just puffs and huffs. It is tired. This truck has been over 500 horsepower for the last 100,000 miles. This truck has been over 600 horsepower for the last 50,000 miles, and it's been over 400 rear wheel horsepower for 200,000 miles. Kind of shows you how tough a factory Cummins is, but it's tired. What's better, this does not have a fuel system. This has a power-driven hot rod lift pump. That's the only lift pump on it. So that could be limiting our fuel. We don't normally rate those for big power, but we're gonna see today. All right guys, you gotta come in a little closer. Check out this interior. This is the truck we invented AFC Live on, or Todd kind of invented it, but this is what we perfected the finished product in. In fact, this has an old school AFC Live box. You guys won't believe how clunky and bulky this thing is. We've also got a boost controller in here. We are using that, a turbo tuner to tune the wastegate on the K27. And then I have a lockup switch. It's just a little metal tab I made here, and my trailer brake controller. So, I mean, pretty simple interior. We do have some old odometer gauges. This had gauges long before Power Driven had our own gauges, but I do have a 2,000 degree pyro because I learned long ago that 1,600 degree pyros are a waste of time. You need 2,000 degrees if you're gonna do anything fun on this. So basically we got trans temp, we got a 0 to 100 PSI boost for total. We've got a 0 to 35 for interstage, 2,000 degree pyro. That's it, man. This truck, I mean, it even has carpet, keeping the dash nice still. Enough talking. You guys are just tired of me just jibber jabbering or whatever you want to call it. And let's get the sucker on the dyno and see what it actually makes today. And then we'll do some upgrades. Starter's getting weak. All right. All right, guys, 664 and 1,513 foot-pounds. You want to talk about putting in work on an old engine? You hit 1,500, that's more than our semi makes. That's to the tire. So we're a little down. Usually this, in the past, would make like 680 to 690. So it's getting a little tired, but let's look at the curve, though. So it did drop up here on the top. Look at that drop at 2,900, it really dropped. I wonder if the fuel pressure can't keep up and it starts losing fuel pressure up there. Good power though. Look at that flat torque curve though, man. Pretty flat.
Coming off it.
This is interesting. So guys, look at the graph here. This blue line is our total boost. And it peaked boost, let's go by RPM. So down here at 1,700, we're making 20 pounds of boost already. That's why this tows so well. Up here at peak torque, it was making 55 pounds of boost. At peak horsepower, it was making 61 pounds of boost. And then just shortly after that, it peaked out at 61 and a half pounds of boost roughly. But see this dip here? When the power dipped at the end, when we believe we ran out of fuel, it actually picked up a little bit of boost. I wonder if we're over-fueling it, and when it leaned out a little bit, it gets a little more exhaust temp, and it spikes. But anyway, but it's kind of fun to have this boost overlay logged right on there with the graph. So anyway, so we're gonna start this run with more load and a little bit higher, and we'll see how it does. All right, guys, run number 2. This will probably be the last run because we don't want to blow the poor thing up when it's just about to get a new engine. Oh wait, I told everybody 350,000 miles. Check this out. A lot of miles. All right, guys. We looked at the pyro that time. 1,800 degrees is what's sitting on the dyno, and it just stays there. It doesn't go any higher. It just goes up to 18, and that's where it's like levels off. Did we get any more boost this time or anything?
No, we were lower on boost. We only hit 58 as the peak.
We only hit 58 pounds this time.
Horsepower was 633 and torque was 14.
So we were down 30 horsepower with the load, and how much torque? 70 foot-pounds. So now this is pretty heat soaked because there's no fan on here right now. So a heat soaked factory intercooler, it just starts losing power as you go. That's why I tell everybody, when you go to a dyno event, you hit it hard your first run with everything you have, nitrous, whatever. You always make your best run, generally, the very first run. I shut this off so you could hear me better, but this poor old girl, the starter's getting tired and it might not fire back up when we shut it off. So we're gonna pull it out of the dyno bay here and time for an engine swap. This is the elusive 4th gen bumper swap. Some guys hate it, some guys love it. I don't really love it. We might go back to like a 2nd gen chrome bumper or maybe even a sport front end if we can find one. But comment below, do you like the 4th gen bumper or do you think we should change it? Also, tell me about this paint scheme. Now it's dirty, but it actually is all one color and actually pretty beautiful flat paint job. Tell me about the tribal on the doors. That was the paint shop did that on his own. Should we keep that? Should we get rid of it? Should we put a power driven sticker down here in the rocker? Guys, I'm not very stylish, so I need your help. So tell me, what should we do? What wheels and tires should we put on this truck? And keep in mind, this new engine we're putting in, it's gonna be well north of the 662 horsepower this made. So this is gonna be a pretty powerful truck. It's not gonna go to the racetrack necessarily. I'm not putting a roll cage in my street truck, but it definitely would need one if we went to the racetrack when we get done with it. So comment below. Do you like the paint? Do you hate it? What should we do for wheels and tires? What should we do for the front end? What about the headlights? These are some aftermarket things that the paint shop put on. They're probably some cheap eBay specials. We need some more motos. What do we need, guys? Help me figure out how to make this truck cherry.